there's reports in your own state media that Donald Trump's administration now does want to take part in the G20. Can you confirm whether they're true or not? And related, you talked about predictable, reliable partners. Do you think that the EU has demonstrated it is now more of a reliable, predictable partner than the US for South Africa and for other G20 nations? And to the two EU presidents, related to that, you've talked about how Trump's presidency and the tariff war has made the EU look for new friends, that it wasn't working close with in the past. Has the way Trump has dealt with the G20, and particularly South Africa, helped make deals like today happen, which, as you said, have come together in the last 8 months only? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much. We have received notice from the United States, a notice which we are still in discussions with them over, about a change of mind about participating in one shape, form or other in the summit. So the discussions are still ongoing. This comes really at the late hour before the summit begins, and so therefore we do need to engage in those types of discussions to see how practical it is and what it finally really means. In a way, we see this as a positive sign, very positive, because, as I've often said, boycott politics never work. It's always best to be inside the tent than being outside of the tent. The tent is the G20. All countries are here, and the United States, being the biggest economy in the world, needs to be here. So it's pleasing to hear that there is a change of approach, and so we are still discussing how that will manifest. On the issue of relationships, we as South Africa focus on the bilateral relationships that we have with various partners in the world, and we are not in the business of comparing one relationship against another. We deal with our relationships on a bilateral basis, and the multilateral side of relations happens either at regional bodies, continental bodies, or global bodies, which is at the multilateral level. So it's not for me to even say this relationship is better than the other one.
And then President Ramaphosa, you said that the US request comes at the 11th hour, and you would have to look at the practicalities of accepting that request. Does that mean that there's an opportunity or perhaps a possibility where it would not be practical to accept their request to be readmitted, as it were, to the G20 Summit? Thank you.
Well, the United States is a member of the G20. They are the original member of the G20, so they have the right to be here. And all we will be seeking to do is to look at the various practicalities, logistical and otherwise, for them to participate. They have a seat at the round table, as you will see on Saturday. There is a seat for the United States. So when President Trump said they are not coming, that seat still remained. It was empty for a while, but it will hopefully be occupied, but we want to deal with all those practicalities. You should know that because it's a gathering of G20 leaders, there is a lot of logistics that go into getting the leaders to come to the venue and to participate, and how they will speak, their speaking order and all that. So those are matters that had not been pre-planned because they pulled out. So we need to understand precisely how all that will pan out. So we're clear. The United States has a right to participate in the G20, and much as they notify us at the 11th hour, we still need to engage with them to understand fully what their participation at the 11th hour means and how it will manifest itself. Peter has a question.
Oh, Peter, okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I wonder if you could clarify to the extent that you can. Although you said you're trying to establish what exactly the role is that the US wishes to play. I understood that they have asked for the charge d'affaires in Pretoria to participate in a handover ceremony, but you're implying something much more deep and extensive than that. And if you could perhaps give some idea of exactly how far that participation might go. Thank you.
Well, Peter Fabricius, you seem to know things as they happen. So there was another communication which came as we were seated here in this bilateral meeting. So we're still digesting that one. It's now seemingly moved away from the charge just receiving the role that they must now play to also something else. That's precisely what we are now examining. You tend to know too much, Peter.
The New York Times is reporting that the administration is now sending a U.S. official to the G20. They are sending Mark Dillard. Can you confirm if that is true, and then also explain the shift in?
I'd be happy to explain, because there is not a shift. The United States is not participating in official talks at the G20 in South Africa. I saw the South African president running his mouth a little bit against the United States and the president of the United States earlier today, and that language is not appreciated by the president or his team. The ambassador, or the representative of the embassy in South Africa, is simply there to recognize that the United States will be the host of the G20. They are receiving that send-off at the end of the event. They are not there to participate in official talks, despite what the South African president is falsely claiming.